Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the channel here in Art of Davi. And today I think we'll do an art review. By the way, sorry, it's been a while since I've posted a video. It's been about like 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, and I have been working on something behind the scenes, just setting up some things outside of YouTube, but I'm trying to balance because I don't want to rely on just YouTube, so I'm trying to diversify my media platforms. Anyway, so there's this guy, I think I mentioned him or her before in this channel. It's a artist named eo58, and I remember featuring their work in this channel called Share Illustrations something. I will link that channel, by the way, in the description below. But I remember recently watching some of eo58's videos there, and then somehow they got unlisted while I was watching, and I think 2 streams or 2 recordings of that artist eo58, and then somehow those specific recordings were unlisted. And apparently there's this copyright thing. Someone tried to, I don't think it's the artists themselves, but some other guy, I think, and it's kind of confusing. But so yeah, I did download those videos just because it's I like downloading these types of recordings for reference, because I want to be able to see people's processes, and it's also nice to see the amount of time spent doing these types of sketchbook pages or full-on fully rendered paintings, right? So yeah, I did download those videos, but I think they are enlisted, so I'm not going to share them just in case, because I might get hit with something. But I do think it wasn't the artists themselves. But I think this account is actually by the same. It's a new channel, somewhat new, or this person, or the eo5. I think this is the official-ish account of eo58, because they usually stream on Twitch, which I don't think most people watch Twitch, or maybe I'm just kind of outdated. But I'm super glad that they've been posting a few live streams here and there quite recently. I think the first one was 2 months ago, and the last one was 2 days ago. So I'm not sure if this is actually the guy, but I do think it is eo58. Yeah, this is the new channel, and I remember featuring this person's work here in this channel before, because it's interesting the amount of time spent doing these pages. It takes super long, so that was very interesting, and I do like seeing these kinds of sketch sessions or paint sessions, because it gives you a more realistic view or understanding of, again, how long these types of pages typically take. And I do notice a lot of character designs, and I think that's the primary focus of this specific artist. I think they're Korean, I guess. I do see a lot of character designs from Korea, South Korea. And I think they have been dominating the space a bit more. Not just the whole manhwa thing, but character. I've quite recently, I have been finding a few more South Korean based artists that do a lot of these highly rendered character designs. Or in general, they're just really into character designs. And they do look rather pretty. And yeah, so it's nice seeing this type of work, because sometimes you'll see this person jump between sketch to sketch, so they're never fully invested into one thing. And I do like seeing that ability to jump around, because it's way more realistic, and it's just it doesn't feel you don't feel as much pressure, I think, when you see this type of process. And I've also noticed that, well, the fact that they're also doing a bunch of sketches, it's not just one sketch at a time. I think it gives you a lot of freedom and more leeway to be kind of somewhat experimental, because since you have many sketches at once, kind of half done, kind of half begun, right? You're not really as like you don't feel cornered into a corner. So you do feel a bit more relaxed. And given that these recordings are in real time, they're not exactly drawing, sketching, or rendering, painting very fast. And that's something that I'm really glad to see, because given the amount of time-lapse videos you see online or speed paints, it kind of skews your perception on how long these types of illustrations typically take. But thankfully, with these types of artists showing, a couple of real-time recordings here and there, it just gives you a bit of hope or cope. And yeah, just nice to see. And I do like how sometimes it's just a sketch, like a pencil sketch or a pencil rendering. Sometimes it's an inked thing, kind of like this. Sometimes it's a colored piece. And obviously they're using, sometimes I think they primarily use Photoshop. That's interesting. Usually I see nowadays Clip Studio Paint, but I still think Photoshop still has a role to play. Although, because Photoshop is a very general software, so it's pretty much used for everything. So I kind of get why people or artists still use it. Although I feel like when it comes to the 2D capabilities, I think Clip Studio Paint still has way more advantages. Sorry, excuse me. I have a bit of a cold. Is it a cold? Or my nose is somewhat clogged. And I do like the direct painting still. I don't see a lot of layers being used. You can't see it here, but if you watch this person paint or draw or render color, it's not, I'm sure layers are being used, but it's not that heavy, because you'll see a lot online where, like, for one illustration, like, there's so many layers and it's so organized. I feel like this person is a bit more direct with minimal layers to keep it simple. And yeah, it's very direct, a way of rendering, drawing. So I do like it. And obviously I remember another reason why I posted or shared this artist before was because seeing the amount of work done is like, it's very impressive. It shows you the amount of obviously work you can do. Like, it's not impossible, and you can relax and not pressure yourself so much with trying to finish everything within, say, an hour or 2-3 hours. Like, this guy, this artist takes like 9 hours of painting. Like, fuck. However, if you look at the real-time recording, it's not even like they're not rushing it, like, they're taking their time. And I think that's something we need to learn, patience, and we need to learn how to be with our canvas, with our painting tools, drawing tools, with our Photoshop, Clip Studio Paint, art softwares. We just need to be there and take it easy and not rush things. And as you can see, after the sketch phase in pencil, they'll do some inks, and then they'll do some flats maybe, and then from there they will paint and render the shadows and the lighting in. And that's pretty much it. It's not a very complicated process, but I think what's impressive is the workload. Number one, obviously the skill. They look really good, really pretty characters, and in this case also a mech. And yeah, so the selection tool is being used to do the flats again, but yeah, it's a very straightforward process. And I think they'll do the shadows after, so they'll darken the whole thing and then drop in the lights, which is interesting, because usually I would do maybe the shadows and then do some highlights, but some artists, they will put everything in shadow and then bring out the lights after. And it's nice because most of your piece is basically going to be in shadow, and it has a very dramatic effect. So check out this. I will link this channel, by the way, in the description below. I do genuinely think it's the guy, but who knows. And as I've mentioned before, make sure you download the videos, because especially if you like the artist's work, because you have no idea if this channel will be taken down or something. Oh yeah, there's also another channel I found. It's they do have a couple of compilations of this artist as well. It's an incomplete playlist somewhere hidden. It got lost somewhere or something, but they still have a few recordings of this guy. of this artist, and look at how easygoing this person is painting, drawing. Like, it feels like a very relaxed session. And if you just take your time, I mean, look, fuck, 8 hours. Jeez. And I love the expressions too, the facial expressions, and obviously the human anatomy is very legit. The shadows are well done. And you can again, you don't have to do one sketch, do that completely, and then move on to the next thing. You can start things and then move on to something else without finishing the previous thing you did. Like, you don't have to have that rigid mindset. You can be more loose, you can be more free, and if you want to be that, make sure you check out the work of eo58, and check out the recordings, the real-time, thankfully, recordings, and yeah, study their work, and hopefully you get inspired, and hopefully also you start doing your own art sessions this way. So hopefully this episode helps you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.